The Marine.
Is this what you do all day? I had a Game Boy, but they took it.
The Marine 2.
He talk?
Not if he can get away with it. Trophy husband.
The Marine 3 Homefront.
He can't take that shot. But I can.
The Marine 4 Moving Target.
2.
Go on, call my bluff, bitch. Meantime, I'm gonna have breakfast.
Welcome to the Piledriving Critique. I'm your host, the Master Viewer. Today I'm going to take a look at a movie franchise from 20th Century Fox and WWE Studios. This is The Marine.
The Marine can be best described in 3 words. Stuff blows up, like lots of it. Seriously, that's The Marine in a nutshell. Sure, I guess I could go and talk about the plot. John Cena stars as John Triton, a former Marine that's been honorably discharged and trying to adjust to living a normal life with his wife Kate, played by Kelly Carlson. Kate winds up getting herself kidnapped by a generic movie criminal named Rome, who happens to be played by Robert Patrick. And the rest of the film is John hunting for his wife. And of course, stuff blows up and there's a lot of fighting. It should be to no one's surprise that there's not much substance to this. It's kind of like watching something from Michael Bay, only on a much smaller scale. But you know what? Honestly, sometimes you just want to kick back and watch something mindless for a bit, and if you're looking for something like that, you may find yourself entertained. It's honestly kind of like watching an 80s or 90s action movie.
I've got to admit, I enjoyed The Marine. It manages to be a lot of fun for a decent little action flick and doesn't take itself so seriously. However, I can't say the same is true for The Marine 2.
In the second installment of the Marine franchise, more stuff blows up. I'm noticing a bit of a trend here, with that and the plot. This time around, our film star is Ted DiBiase, no, not the $1 Million Man, but his less charismatic son. DiBiase plays Surprise, a Marine sniper named Joe who's on vacation with his wife at an island resort where she happens to work. However, the resort is taken over by a group of terrorists, and it's up to Joe, Michael Rooker, and the local government to save the day. Although I didn't like The Marine 2, it did have some great hand-to-hand combat fight scenes, but not enough to carry this film or give it a recommendation. It's just really boring.
Much like Ted DiBiase's wrestling career, The Marine 2 was pretty boring and bland. It was just not very entertaining and very uninteresting. The complete tonal shift from the first film just didn't do it for me. So let's see how The Miz is doing in this series.
The Marine 3 Homefront is the first in the series to star The Miz as Jake Carter, a Marine who's home on leave trying to adjust back to civilian life. Jake's sister and her boyfriend witness a murder and the perpetrators hold them as hostages. Naturally, Jake's a little upset with this when he finds out and wants to save his family on his own. However, he's stopped by the FBI when it turns out that there's a much larger issue at hand involving these criminals. When the FBI is unsuccessful, it's now Jake Carter's turn to take down this gang and get his family back. You know, this is a much better movie than The Marine. Everything from the story to the action and even the acting is better. I've gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised by The Marine 3 Homefront. It's a decent action flick. If you stumble across it late night on cable and give it a chance, you might find yourself in the same scenario.
We're almost at the end, everyone, but now we must talk about the first sequel that's a direct-to sequel in the franchise, and the first film from WWE Studios to star a diva in Summer Rae. This is The Marine 4 Moving Target.
The Miz returns as Jake Carter, but this time around he's no longer in the service and now he's working as a member of a private security firm. On Carter's first day, his team has been hired to protect a whistleblower trying to expose a corrupt military defense contract. A group of mercenaries, one of which is WWE diva Summer Rae, has been hired to track down and kill this girl, and it turns out Miz is the only one she can trust. Moving Target isn't as good as Homefront, but it's entertaining. It's also pretty violent by WWE Studios standards. I'm fairly certain this film has the highest body count of any of their movies so far. They just kill civilians and whoever else rather willy-nilly. It's pretty incredible. There's also some rather clever deaths when Miz and the girl are running around in the forest trying to escape the mercenaries, even if they do feel rather Home Alone-ish. I just wonder when the hell Carter had time to set these up, and I must admit, they feel a little out of place and seem to come from nowhere.
That wraps up my thoughts on the Marine franchise. Honestly, 3 out of 4 ain't so bad, and if you go in with an open mind, you might find yourself pleasantly surprised. I'll see you all again Christmas Day for my holiday spectacular. This is the Pile Driving Critique, where professional wrestling meets pop culture.